Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of 2025 for XFeed. A year ago, I said, hey, we got to go live, talk about NFTs, crypto, and all that fun jazz. And we completed it, basically. I mean, to be fair, last like 2-ish weeks have been extraordinarily spotty, if not no streams at all. But with that being said, I think we did something like 340 streams, which is like unbelievable to think about in the first place. But two, it shows that there is going to be a lot of things that have happened, and there's a lot more that's going to happen, because there's no way we're going to be doing a show for that many days when news isn't progressing. And it's happening at a really rapid pace. And I think that as we progress, we have to be very conscientious. If you haven't seen on the news, the Web3 news, there is a new username system for Solana. And everyone, for whatever reason, has started going out and saying, oh, you get all these points for this airdrop for a phantom token. If you follow each other, I get some. If you follow me, if I follow you, you get some. So we're doing this follow for follow, and for anybody that doesn't know or hasn't done content creation at a point, there is a lot of groups that do something similar, where if you're first starting out on Twitch or YouTube, you try to find these different groups that are like, oh, you know, we need somebody that can help support us initially. So if you watch my stream, I'll watch yours, help you try to get on the algorithm, and it feels like very much that being the case. However, from what we've seen, Phantom has said that they're not doing a token airdrop. It's completely off speculation, and the entire timeline is just regurgitating the exact same thing, and everybody is just believing it for face value. M. Tully, good morning. Phenomenal to see you in 2025. Listen, we saw you in the Discord earlier, too. He's still opening those Pokemon packs. Unbelievable. And so I think, arguably, there was a lot happening with AI in 2024, but I think 2025, we're going to have to really, really be careful about verification, authenticity, knowing what's real, knowing what's fake, and how the hell are you going to do that? Just have an open mind. That's pretty much it. And that's what we're going to start off here. Again, these aren't necessarily the latest headlines. We have so much stuff. I've been following the timeline throughout the entire break. So there's going to be a lot that we're going to go over. But just as a reminder, on Christmas, or like the day before Christmas, see you from Animoca Brands. You got compromised. Just remember, if you ever see any kind of thing that seems a little bit off, nobody's going to be doing random token drops. Going to be very clear, whatever it is. The whole FOMO mint days are gone. Just be aware. Okay, so I want to jump back to the Gem Assist discussion here. At this point, what was this? On December 21st, they're 0.06 floor. They've dropped a fair bit, but with that being said, there was actually some other OpenSea NFTs that were dropped, and I didn't even know this, and I'm not trying to highlight Genesis or anything here, but just on that conversation, there's this Baby Burn redeemable example, an egg that can be redeemed for it. Well, go find out, okay? And Bernie the Flame, which sounds like a Muppets episode, unbelievable. So apparently OpenSea has had a couple of different NFTs for that, but again, when you're looking at these things right now, or somebody bought that Genesis, sorry. What I did want to go to though, regarding the Genesis, is the fact that like there's people with 2,000 of these things. I don't know if these are OpenSea accounts. I don't know if these are people that are just completely speculating around it. There was some posts of people highlighting, you know, like a month or two before the OpenSea airdrop announcement, people were sweeping these. I don't really know what to think, but it is kind of crazy seeing that level of purchases. And give me 1 second. I got to go shut the door because the bird is going crazy. Phenomenal. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like a two-parter, and I've been an advocate of I love doing things online. You almost get what's the right word? Claustrophobic? Nah, that's not the right word. That's the right word for the next thing, but anxious maybe is the right term. So this is on like Boxing Day, okay? This is going to one of the outlets. Highway like at a standstill. People are driving up the road that is for like emergency vehicles. That's how bad this is, okay? Like you see the rumble strips, you're not supposed to be over there at all. So this is just absolute chaos, okay? And then we have malls that have like 6 billion people in them. And I'm like, oh my God. So number one, we talk, you know, there was all this talk about like recessions and whatnot. Does that look like a group of people that are not willing to spend a whole bunch of money? I'm just throwing that one out there. So I think as we progress, as things become completely chaotic. Traffic, good God, I hate traffic. I'd rather just stay at home, be at the metaverse, be online. Listen, I get some people hate that and they're like, oh, go out, see nature. Sure, I'll go for a walk. I love it. But the busyness of everything, I'm all right. Okay, so on the holiday, happy holidays, we saw another prominent streamer bring up crypto. Guys, this is everywhere. So I've been compiling a small list of different times when I've just been casually watching different streamers play video games, and then they mentioned crypto. And so this is one from Whippo, who is a part of FlyQuest. They won the North American League of Legends Championship. Really big name, averages about like 2,000 plus viewers per stream. But here's his crypto involvement.
I like it when people like...
Hold on. I got to redo it. I didn't have the audio on. Cack.
Angry? It's not, I'm not even angry. It's just like, I just don't like it when people like make shit up about me. Like, bro, I'm not into crypto at all. Whippo coin is not going to drop. I'm not in the business of scamming people. The only time I am legally allowed to scam you guys is when I tell you that I'm going to have a good performance on stage and then I run it down, okay?
Okay, so kind of funny, but basically somebody came into his chat and said, oh, Bwippo, did you make this like Bwippo coin? And I don't know if it's somebody that was off of pump.fun or like what the hell it is, but he immediately banned them and right off the rip was like negative. I don't have crypto. I'm not scamming people. That's their only assumption of crypto. That's their only assumption of crypto. You see how he reacted for that? Now, to be fair, maybe he was just agitated because somebody came into the chat and said that, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Now, let's continue. Here's another one.
You're just rich like that or what?
Okay.
Bro, the first thing he said is like, bro, this DJ is set. Crypto is going to the moon. Dropping money, bro.
Hey, crypto is going to the moon, isn't it?
It is. Going around the moon and back.
Wait, what is Bitcoin up to?
I think it's like 62K USD. It's almost reaching all-time high, bro.
62K, it's almost reaching all-time high. Now, this was on a stream from March of this year, right? So we can have a little bit of a look back, and I think there's a couple other ones in here. So this is one from the Overwatch, some Overwatch personalities.
I need to do that. Maybe I should gamify the waitlist.
Hey, you guys, thanks for signing up on the waitlist. We're super excited to see you in the next few hours. Just download our app. It's a quick play to earn game. Play to earn time off the waitlist. You get enough NFTs. If you get a full set of NFTs, you can get into our cryptocurrency, which can allow you to purchase a better slot on the waitlist. We will see you tomorrow.
I just want to show my commitment to the waitlist because we sat on our ass, but we didn't do anything. I'm just asking.
So, I mean, listen, I'm just throwing it out there, but when you look at those clips back to back, it's interesting. The conversation is there mightily. You just have to be looking in the right spots. Okay, so we got like a couple different takes on this. So number one, in the Overwatch League, they had this Toronto Defiant team. And it's the same as Toronto Blue Jays type of deal, but it's for like a video game. And for whatever reason, they decided we are going to drop the Toronto Defiant branding, which I'm like, okay, cool. But that's kind of something that like highlights the problem with a lot of stuff that's newer and why there's so much of an emphasis on the legacy collections of sort. And back to the conversations of people saying, oh, you know, the 2021 PFPs, like they're not going to be relevant. It's like, well, they've been around for a while. A lot of the new stuff, how long are they going to be around for? Because everybody on the new stuff, like, you literally go from 1 week to the next. And we're going to go back to a stream that was like one of the first streams that I did regarding XFeed and show you the difference between way back when and now. The same topics are not the same topics. That was a horrible way of wording that. But the point being is that whatever is hot in the moment is completely not the next. And so you might think you have a hit and, well, you might be completely wrong with it. So the other side of this is maybe this suddenly turns into all of the previous Toronto Defiant merch collectibles into, well, a collectible that has a significant amount of more value. And so going back to some different sports logos, they've changed up. Why? Because they want to sell you different logos, different merch every single year. But it does also make the people that were collecting all the previous merch have something that potentially is more valuable. Except for now, Toronto, they're doing the Raptor thing and all that. All the older stuff is coming back. So kind of reprints of certain points. But it's interesting to see just that perspective of things. Okay, so I saw this post from Stash of Off the Grid. My immediate reaction was, okay, let's go check and see what the kind of streaming numbers are for Off the Grid. And right now we have somebody that has 585 viewers, 544, 501, 455, 448. These are way better numbers than we saw like the weeks following that initial kind of push. So I'm very happy to see that. I know that it was critical because it felt like it just completely died off from the streaming standpoint, but that's still going strong. But when we compare it to other games, right, we had 4 to 5 streamers with 500 viewers per. When you go to Axie Infinity, there's 2 people at around 50 views and 3 people streaming it overall. Okay. And then parallel, going over to that, 25 viewers, 21 viewers, 6 viewers, and 2 viewers. Now, obviously preface, this is Thursday in the middle of a day. How many people are going to be out streaming some of these newer games? Totally get it. But it is interesting just kind of comparing and contrasting a couple of different play-to-earn games that are out there. Unusual Whales, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian says that AI will drive demand for live theater and sports as people seek human experiences in an AI-saturated future. Totally agree with that. Seen on the timeline, you guys probably have seen it too. You want to click on a comment of a interesting headline, and it's literally just AI. If you're on Facebook, they force you to read the AI description of what the chat says. On YouTube, they come up with like an AI generated note of what the chat is talking about as well for various live streams, depending on how big it is. And you're like, okay, I want like a human answer. You read it and it's like, okay, so whatever this bot is, this AI comment on is just regurgitating whatever the headline is, and like a very minimal difference, and it doesn't add any extra context. Sometimes it kind of does, but then when you read like that there's 6 other comments of exactly the same things, it just feels bad. It just feels bad. Okay, looking at the marketplaces, the 1-year use, Magic Eden leading things with 1.5 million people buying NFTs on there. Okay, so 1.5 people are buying NFTs. That's an interesting statistic. OpenSea 1.2 million, Tensor 1.1, OKX 306 million, and then Blur at 191,000. So Blur absolutely fell off a cliff. I have to admit, I still probably use Blur most of the time when I'm just like looking at things. OpenSea occasionally as well. I do like the Blur layout, but my goodness, it just completely lost all of its traction that it had, and because the incentives are gone. Or people just don't want to list on there, or people don't like Blast. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so Replicant. This is the thing that I think is involved with Futureverse. We've been highlighted this like before, right? But it's got fluffs in there. It's got party bears in here, and this is like an AI generation studio. This is their real for it. So sit back and enjoy. I mean, it just looks cool. I mean, the AI development, I mean, you can create a commercial off of that, right? Like, I mean, I need to, I need to check this out myself a little bit later to go through it, because I haven't actually looked at the site, but we had Fluffs, Party Bears, all that stuff in there. Again, AI looking phenomenal. Okay, so I think this is a troll post, but we're going to use this to kind of craft a little bit of a narrative here. So this Finn person said, Abstract is the real anime chain. Now, why is this a big deal of any sorts? Well, if you're bullish on Abstract, it's a new chain that's coming out. It's got a lot of backing for it already. But for people that are familiar with Azuki or Web3 in general, we're being told that what's going on with the anime coin is going to be rather big. Now, the anime chain, again, you go back, people are going to say, oh, it's this chain, it's that chain. Same for gaming. We have these arguments about different chains. For DeFi, we have arguments about different chains. For art, we have arguments about different chains out there and whatnot. And it's just, does it even matter? Does any of this conversation even matter other than it's like a social post that people are arguing, saying, oh, whatever I'm into is bigger than this one? I think it is kind of dumb when anybody says like, oh, we're the first of something, because like 9 times out of 10, it's not the case. If it is, okay, congratulations. But again, calling yourself like the best of anything, that's you got to be able to back it up. You know what I mean? You got to be able to back it up. Okay, so I found some stuff on Futureverse that I was going through just like over the break again. I was trying to, re-up my conviction in that, if you will. But there was an announcement from a year ago, like almost like 20 days from now. It's going to be a year ago. So by working with Neopin, a leading DeFi company with an extensive network in Korea, we will expand the Futureverse and the Root Network ecosystems and create an environment where users and developers can create an open metaverse together. This partnership will bring Futureverse to the forefront of the Korean blockchain industry with Neopin and Catalyze's experience, expertise, vision, and insights in the Korean market. Okay, so we just heard that Abstract was the anime chain, and then oh no, it's what Azuki's involved with, and then it's like, oh well, here we're like having to focus on the Korean markets, which again, very big into anime. So all these questions about who's going to be for what, well, we're just gonna have to sit there and find out. Now, also just to highlight out there, they have a partnership with Animoca Brands where all their tokens are getting integrated with it. Animoca, again, they're connected to a whole bunch of stuff. Is that going to be the anime? That's the question. Now, this next part I want to bring up because I think that we're seeing a lot of people have various conversations around the space, providing different insights, but I think that we are kind of losing the people that are very dedicated to a single ecosystem. We've come to a point where, because it's hot potato, everyone is like kind of into certain things where like it's more of like a very broad scope. And so like, as an example for this, Sahel put out this phenomenal breakdown for Root. Like it got like 1 million impressions, right? Phenomenal. Talks about it being like the next sand, goes through, and then Doc Dan asks about like, are you bullish on just Root or also the Futureverse assets? And Sale was like, what do you mean assets? It's like, well, the assets are the only way to get the token right now, unless you're staking Root, and that is relatively slower. So there's more ways, but the main way of getting that Root token right now is through the Futureverse assets. And I don't know if that was like even listed within there where people are going out doing all these conversations regarding certain stuff, but I still think that there's a lot of very finite details that matter a lot. So there's a lot of information, but there's still these things behind the scenes that you're going to have to follow the people that are really into certain things to be able to find the ins and outs of. Back to 2022 though, Cooltopia, somebody showing the New York event where they took it over. They had Cool Cats displays. Kind of cool that happened overall, and then a bunch of goodies for that. We haven't really seen too much in terms of the physical events as of lately. Okay, so Matty B put out this post regarding major sports blockchains. Okay, and so we'll go and click on like a few of these here because we have MLS Quest, we have UFC Strike, we got Sorare, the Topps MLB from back in the day, and then Candy Digital. Is there any more? Oh my God, there's a bunch more. NFL All Day. Let's click that. Collect FIFA. Okay. So Flow, right? Flow. Look at all these IPs that are part of it. NFL, Disney, La Liga, NBA, Animoca Brands. I think I misclicked on one of these because it's supposed to take to a certain site. I think it was the NFL All Day one, right? So if we can, I don't even know how to click that. Either way, massive brands, right? Massive brands where people would be like, okay, sure, Disney, La Liga, NBA, Samsung, UFC, Warner Music Group. I mean, these are huge. Dr. Seuss, is the Dr. Seuss NFT still even doing anything? I have no friggin' idea. But Flow is somebody that has touted the consumer, the home of consumer Web3. Well, we have Abstract out there saying that they're going to do it, but I don't know if Abstract's even partner with some of these major brands. Right? So consumer crypto all of a sudden isn't the narrative that we're seeing that we had on the timeline for a couple weeks. Why are we not using the term consumer crypto anymore? What happened to that? Now going over to FIFA Collect here, going to check out the marketplace. These are collectible value R2B tickets to the FIFA Club World Cup. Starting bid at $249. All right. So again, different NFTs. They're connected to FIFA. a couple different bids starting pretty extensively, having different partners in there. I don't know. Like looking at this, I'm like, this site just doesn't bring me joy, happiness, or anything under the sun. But for different clubs on here, there is what the hell? They have like 5 clubs. So these must be like very specific, where, I mean, we've seen for So Rare, if we jump over to there, these ones have like almost everybody, right? Like Serie A, Premier League, MLS, a whole bunch of different ones. And these also are games that you can play that's kind of like fantasy sports in a way. But this site gives you a little bit more joy, right? With FIFA, all the different leagues, I think it matters, right? When we're talking about all the different IPs. And that's really the only takeaway that I want to have with this is when you're seeing all these are major brands. For MLB, if I remember correctly, for Topps, this was something that like came out, and then I think Candy Digital took the MLB licensing. I don't know if Wax failed. I don't know if the team that made all these failed. These were like $99 to buy the premium packs, $5 to buy the normal one, and these like rocketed, I'm pretty sure. Like I think a premium pack was going for $700 to $800 very shortly after. Because I remember I bought some. Like I think I even have some cards that are sitting there if I go back through all of that. But Candy Digital, they have the MLB, they have DC, Marvel. I'm trying to think, who the hell is Marvel? Because there's DC and Marvel, and that's always the thing. These guys used to do the play of the day for any certain milestones and whatnot. Prices were kind of all over the place for it. I remember when Gary Vee first talked about the site overall when it came out, but if we go back over here, MLB more, Sweet Features, Netflix. So they have Netflix, WWE, Getty Images, Palm Garden, Sex Pistols. So they have a little bit of everything, but it seems like kind of an odd combination comparison to like Flow. It seems to have a bunch of things that end up matching. UFC Strike here. This is another thing that's on Flow itself. These are different moments. So if you're fans of the UFC, you're able to buy different moments. If we go to the lowest ask, some of these things are going for $1. So there you go. Collect the digital collectibles. Phenomenal. And then MLS Quest. I bought Apple TV. Well, for like the last MLS season, because I was like, I want to kind of watch LA Galaxy. Very good team. They ended up winning it, and awesome. But we go and check out the marketplace. I actually kind of like these better than what we saw with like the UFC, where they had like those like 3D collectible looking things that goes into the moment. I like kind of just the still image. Looks cool. Not very expensive on any of these things either. Yo, ad name here. What's going on? What are the goods? What are the goods? What are the goods? We are huge fans of Futureverse and Visit Open, and we are here to support when they are ready to launch. That's why we licensed the DMC for their trailer. Happy New Year. Okay, that's interesting. So they posted this. Okay, cool. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of like these social media accounts that are gonna end up like starting to fight back on people that doubt anything very shortly. Okay, NHL breakaway. Sorry, I know we're going through like a whole bunch of different sports things, but I think it's cool just to show you guys, if you haven't seen some of these different sporting collectibles that are on chain right now. If we go low to high for NHL all day, these moments are going for $2. Have a couple of other ones in there, and not bad. Esport fans, you watch for free, you likely play for free, you statistically spend the least, and you are anti-change. Not a criticism, it's understandable, but if you're curious why gambling and microtransactions and skins are more prevalent than ever, this is why. And I think we're going to have kind of a loop around here where there's much more of a recognition that, hey, I just bought a video game in a skin and I can't do anything with it unless I sell my account. Earlier in the year, I used real money to buy things in RuneScape. Now I don't play it. What can I do with that? Nothing unless I sell my account. Oh, you're going to get banned for it. Think of League of Legends. I bought a little bit around Christmas time. If I decide to quit League of Legends, what am I going to do with those skins? Can't trade them. What if I change the character that I want to play and the thing that I bought for it? Well, if I could just swap with somebody else 1-to-1, I would do that. Same with Marvel Rivals, same kind of skins on that. And it's just, I think there's going to be more of a recognition. Sure, this is a conversation specifically about esports, but this has a big trickle effect to everything if you're out there gaming and seeing other people have the opportunity to do such. Okay, so I saw this post from Drew Austin that was talking about NBA Top Shot and how They've had 900,000 sales in 2024 and 18 million in volume. And the Reg said 18 million in volume for the year is terrible. I kind of agree. For NBA Top Shot, the heights that it was, only getting 18 million in volume when the NFT marketplaces have really gotten a big bounce back. Is this a problem with sports overall, though? Because, I mean, if you go to NFL all day, if you go to the NHL breakaway, if you look at UFC Strike, if you look at any of these things, I think Sorare arguably has the most traffic out of all of those, and I don't have stats to back that up, just based on the timeline and seeing different people talking about it. I feel like Sorare has the biggest reach, and again, it's also focused on soccer, which, again, very massive global stage. But, like, is there a problem with digital collectibles for the licensed sports world? Genuine question. We'll see. AIs are slowly taking over your timeline. They are becoming your favorite accounts one by one. Welcome to the new age. And again, these AI accounts, they're spitting out different stats regarding things. I see people all the time on my timeline posting to them, trying to get a reaction, wanting to get validation for whatever their thought is. And this is where it goes back to having conviction. And people just want to be on the timeline and feel good about things. And so if you're out there, you know, post some positivity here and there, but also realize that this whole AI notion is coming, and it's coming very, very fast. And the acceptance of it, for lack of a better term, is already there. And I mean, we saw AI mints, like AI NFT mints, happen a while ago, and there was almost like no discourse, no complaints about it from the artists that are, you know, homegrown artists. I felt like there was a little bit of a pushback, but generally there was nothing. And it's like, I don't know. And what's cap? What's cap? I'm talk to me. Intel FTX will start paying 16 billion in claims from January 3rd. I don't know about you guys, but tomorrow at noon, we might be ordering DoorDash if we're absolutely mooning. Oh my goodness. So apparently this is all coming from like Kraken, BitMEX, or there's some other thing that's called like Bit that's a part of a crypto exchange that's sending this out. This is apparently going to be like the biggest liquidity event since Mt. Gox. We'll see what happens. Do people end up dumping their tokens? Do people, well, actually, no, I think it's in stable coins, or maybe even like the FTT token. Somebody said that like FTT was going nuts the other day, and I was like, I don't know if we are full of the FTC bankruptcy proceedings are underway. The FTT token no longer has any use. But if you look on the past month, it's up 50%. On the past year, 23% all time. It's yeah, there's no, I mean, it's weird that it's still got like that large of a market cap overall, but I don't know what we'll see in the market. So be prepared. Could be massive. Okay, so how did ChatGPT do? More AI here. Did your metaverse project make the list? That anyone's favorite account is an AI account? I feel like there is a lot of people out there that are vehemently obsessed with that AI XBT. I've seen it. Listen, I'm telling you, we got to get you on the X timeline more. And I don't know if it's just like the people that I follow, but religiously, I see that account more than anything, and it's a lot of people interacting with it. And it, like half the time, it's like stuff I don't really necessarily care about. So I wouldn't say that it's like my favorite account by any means, but I would strongly advocate on the side that I think a lot of people's favorite account is turning into that. Because, I mean, you have the consistency, right? That's the biggest thing. When you go on these platforms, and I think that's also like another conversation where you look at video games, right? And let's take World of Warcraft for an example. If you're walking around World of Warcraft and you don't have other characters that are there, you're like, the world feels kind of empty. You might yourself have like a big passion for the game, playing overall, but in the heydays of all that, even RuneScape back in the day, it was awesome having so many people around for a certain event. And so what happens if all of these worlds can just be filled with these NPCs that are actually acting as real people, that are able to engage in whatever way, see what you're saying, interact, join you on these quests and everything else. And it completely changes the perspective of everything. And I think on the timeline, right, there's only so many takes people have. Some people spew like 50 tweets a day, where other people post, once a month, but people are scrolling X all the time, or whatever news source, right? Even for Facebook, if you go onto Facebook, and this might just be a me thing, I think I have like 1,000 friends on there, but the amount of people that make posts is maybe like 50 a day. So my entire Facebook feed is more news stories of certain events, headlines of something else. It's not even people making it. I guess it is people making it, but it's not what I joined for, right? Like I joined Facebook to see what other people are up to, but instead I'm having all of these feeds, all of these companies that are more highlighting what's going on for whatever it is. Anyway, ChatGPT. So they've listed for their top Web3 metaverse projects: Decentraland, The Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Somnium Space, Crypto Voxels, Sandbox, Illuvium, Star Atlas, Voxels, MetaMask. That's not even a Web3 metaverse. Alien Worlds, My Neighbor Alice, Engine. That's like a gaming thing and not even a metaverse. Big Time, Wilder World, Upland, Superworld, MetaHero, Red Fox Labs, CryptoKitties. That's definitely not a metaverse. What are we doing? So it's interesting seeing what these things are spitting out. But arguably, when you look at this, it's like, okay, so the metaverse narrative, I don't think is in the greatest of light. Because when people talk about Decentraland, how many of them talk super positively about it? For the Sandbox, again, how many people talk super positively about it? Each of them have their own communities, 100%. But I feel like the narrative, the notion, what people are going out and wanting to play isn't front and center. Axie Infinity, we just looked. We had 2 streamers that had like 100 viewers combined. Somnium Space, haven't heard that talked about in a while. Crypto Voxel, same thing. Sandbox, like how they have Sandbox twice here. Reading that back. Illuvium, it was really hyped up going into their launch. It feels like it's died down a little bit. What's going on? Star Atlas having phenomenal videos, but I don't see anybody that I know that's out there playing on the timeline. And the same for a lot of these other ones that are in here. And so the metaverse narrative, I would argue, is kind of completely dead. It doesn't even mention other side in this, by the way. Maybe because it's only had like a few play tests, and that's basically it. But there's a lot that's riding on this next year, and I'm curious how it is. Decentraland was lit. I remember doing the Bored Ape Yacht Club, like poker nights and some of the other stuff in there early on. It wasn't bad, but I feel like it needed like a graphic overhaul of sorts. Okay, so going back to a year ago, this is on October 24th of 2023. So this is like over a year ago. And looking at the tweet, it says, headline from the past and now, what various crypto and NFT companies have raised at, which is insane. I think Sorare was like 600 million or something. The Bank of Canada comments on DeFi on Bitcoin's mooning while we're hodling our NFTs. So if we skip through here real quick, we have the meme coin farming. If you remember back in the day when potatoes were a hot topic, that's barely even discussed right now. Midnight Society, and before they dropped Dr. Disrespect for all the shenanigans that was going on. This was the talk of the town at the time. The company connecting the innovative immersive metaverse today. Hitch 1999. I have no idea what that is. Continuing on. Article about gold. We have tokenomics for I don't know what the hell IBMP or MB is. This play-to-earn game offers NFTs linked to physical items like gold. Again, kind of a weird article. Canada Central Bank assesses innovations and challenges of DeFi. The staff note suggested that although the DeFi ecosystem brings a ton of innovations in the financial sector, the regulatory challenges and vulnerability limit its potential use in traditional finance. Okay, so that's just like a comment piece. Continuing on here, why the crypto world loves new GOP speaker frontrunner Tom Emmer. Pretty sure that guy lost, so that's irrelevant. We have articles about this. Man, it shows way better than way back then. Holy smokes. What theme park projects are included in the $17 billion investment in Disney World? Oh, yo. I remember reading that and being like, yo, I wonder if there's going to be any kind of like NFT associated with that. OpenSea raises $23 million. All right. Big Time Studio is raising $21 million to bring NFTs to game economies. I feel like Big Time really like slowed down. I remember seeing that on the timeline a lot and then just like not. So Big Time was at 13 cents at the time. So with the 20 mil market cap and it's time. Okay, I guess I have to say Big Time. So it's at 14 cents over a year later. With a 206 mil market cap. Well, I mean, listen, a lot of these things you get tokens over time. Wait, this isn't Rivals. Yo, what's going on right there? How we doing? Yeah, we're going back through like an old video. Bored Ape Yacht Club creator raises $450 million to buy an NFT metaverse. So this is when we were going off how much everything raised back in the day. Oh, this was a solid session, to be honest, if I remember correctly. So these were like the top crypto games at the time for the Game Awards of 2022. Holy smokes. Okay, so Big Time got Game of the Year. The best RPG was Illuvium. Best graphics, Star Atlas Superior. Best action game, Blancos. Best casual game, Metalcore. Best shooter game, Gods Unchained. EV.io, Shrapnel. Bryson won content creator, League of Kingdoms. Dude, these things just like are not popular anymore comparatively to what it is, but it's wild to look back at that time. I'm just trying to check if there's anything else here that's super relevant. Don't trust or verify. How Bitcoin is breathing new life into El Salvador. That aged extraordinarily well. But yeah, so that was back when I like only went off headlines, and you can see the difference, right? When you have headlines versus being able to go on X, see everybody's different opinions. All these projects are all using Discord. They're all using X. It's something where you kind of have to be. The articles aren't really as front facing as they used to be, but I mean, it's just kind of, with the times. Anyway, that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the past year and hopeful year to come within the Web3 sector. It's kind of crazy. Again, just the reflections and how things are hot and then they're not. So be careful as you're looking on the timeline, but have that conviction, have that strength, have that personality, if you will. I'm Tolly Racinger. Thank you guys so much for being here live. Absolute freaking gems. Drew, and we're playing Rivals later. Drew. All right, have a good one. Peace.